call me fuego. 93 like me. Fire in the sheets, spending summers on the sea. It's okay though, she know way home. Better life on the day,
and they've struggled therein since, and that's led to them falling very far down the leaderboard. So as we take a look now at the flight path, see what teams have to work with, this is probably the most central flight path that we've had today, Godspeed.
It's a very central flight path, and we'll see if we get a very central circle. I mean, to be honest, none of the circles so far on M1me have been really, like, wacky. You know what I mean? They've been pretty normal circles that we're used to seeing, especially that last one ending, like I said, it usually ends just there south or southwest of Impala, which is where it did. So we'll see if we get a little bit of a goofy circle with this plane path. Honestly, we probably won't. We'll just have to see where it pops. Teams are pretty much going to go where they want to go, nothing out of the ordinary.
Veritas could really capitalize from this position, as we see down below quite a few teams fighting inside Zahara. Hwinn was actually knocked by TAC 8, who's, you can see, just up to the high ground on the right, but it is this push that's been coming in from Soniqs and Zenith. It's not going Soniqs' way right now, but Shrimzy getting some damage into Roth, getting a couple more shots onto the peak, tries to catch him on the stairs, gets him down really low.
Roth.
The Molotov doing some work here, and Shrimzy getting that knock, waiting for the throwable. They can get the flush, and they will be able to recover from this just a bit. But again, Hwinn on the other side of town. He's safe for right now, but it might not be a chance to get the res just yet until they can take care of what's left of Zenith. As you see the flush coming there onto Roth. Tickleton down to 1 HP and trade of damage, but he's got to pull back to heal.
But if he can help recover here, that'd be massive. Getting Shrimzy up, nice, laying down the smokes, as well as the Molly utilities coming out from M1me, and this is a really good stall here. At the very least, they're going to get Shrimzy up. Hwinn, on the other hand, it's been a good game for Hwinn. Unfortunately, he's going to be going down. He's going to be going back to spectator.
You know, while all of this has been happening as well, Comet sent Monty up ahead to the warehouse here in Zahara, and that's where that knock onto Shrimzy came from. So a good information gathering for the Comets as they're able to push themselves into town. Now, as Soniqs still 3 up, needing to be a little bit careful. They're all stacked kind of into this one compound, you know, series of buildings, and that could be really dangerous, especially with Zenith having so many angles. But we'll pull back away. A couple more fights that are going on. Hardships managed to continue that trap out to the north, but look at this, right onto Dodge.
Yeah. Hardships is going to rotate onto Dodge here. They have to be careful for the member of Dodge that's all the way in the distance. This shovel's going to go down, but even still, they might be able to clean this up. And in the meanwhile, by the way, Luke's out, so STK have finished in last once again.
A really heartbreaking play that you hate to see from them, but now as you see Hardships trying to hold their own as they're taking quite a bit of damage. Lampalot and Danny G holding good positions out to the east, but from inside the compound, Adam getting another knock, getting the flush as well there onto Lobes, as Hardships are finding it hard to stay alive right now. Maluk with 8 HP, the last one still up, try to pop off that first aid kit, but gas cans from the west get the shot, and Honey Badger takes out what's left of Hardships.
And the Rumblers coming in very late to this Zahara party. We'll see if they're actually going to just set up here on the south side of the road in some of those buildings, or if they're going to continue to push forward. I would hope they scout first. Oath, though, has a very interesting split that I am all about, unless Reload gets overtaken by Duel, but that would also be Duel pushing out of the compound to do that, and I don't think it's going to happen. So Oath actually have quite a lot of control here. As we see Los, stopping the scout. This is exactly what I expect from them.
I mean, it's a good time to scout because you do have 2 members of Oath in this area just to the east, and I think Snakers and the rest of Oath have kind of heard that, anticipated the push from coming. I'm not quite certain if they want to stay to fight, but speaking of fighting, Fabled choosing a very busy place to rotate in. TAC 8, Illusion, Veritas, all in close combat here onto the hill as you see members jumping out of the vehicle for Fabled. They're actually going to get the knock onto Lush. Steezy running over Show. It is just so chaotic right now as Greg shot with line of sight here, but Steezy is going to take him down. And look at this, Steezy is just doing a number on everybody right now.
Yeah, Steez, the man, the myth, the legend, putting out quite a lot of damage. And Greg shot went down. Hexetti is probably going to go down here as well. And Fabled continuing to just kind of struggle.
throwables are looking really good right now coming out from Hella. The first one did some damage, but not enough to get any knocks here onto Take, but that pressure is going to keep them there. Meanwhile, you can see behind them, Veritas with the high ground has the hill, looking to do something onto this. Michael's actually going to get the knock and flush onto Rip for Fabled, and that's going to leave Hella all by herself here, as Take might have a potential to make the moves. It's got to be now or never, as you see Veritas comfortably set back up. And now if you're Steezy, you're Hwinn throwing the smokes out, trying to go for this res onto Zealot, but they've got to act quickly.
So Veritas actually, interestingly enough, is also quite split. It's really just Jazza off towards the north, holding everyone else, or at least trying to hold the compound, while the rest of the members of this team actually start taking shots at Tactical 8. My goodness, English is hard. And I really like this. Veritas actually setting up a member to potentially hold out a position where they can either scout from or rotate from later, while having the heaviest of the squad kind of going towards the rest of the teams on the edge to try to clean it up. And that's going to be an easy kill for Michael.
Michael taking out Hella, tries to get some damage there into Zealot, as Take left up just now with looks to be Hwinn and Lampalot. Or excuse me, Hwinn and Steezy. Steezy falls here. Hwinn's actually the last one still up there, but Michael and a couple of the members still have shots. I see the circle's actually going to pull back up to the north yet again. Almost everybody's in the zone except for Oath, but they've got a lot of positions to play from now as Veritas finishes clearing out what they've got on their edge. But look at this. Zahara kind of calmed down a bit, and Soniqs were able to send M1me and Shrimzy up to investigate.
And What I Open have pretty much been chilling this whole time. I mean, they really haven't had to do much. As far as moving, they rotated here early, and they've been pretty fortunate that Circle's been coming to them. However, they are going to have to deal with two teams, actually, when they decide to push, and it's going to be Veritas and potentially Dodge. Meanwhile, Oath is just ripping Zenith and Comets apart.
You know, you asked me earlier my opinion of Oath and how I thought they were playing, and this is really what I'm feeling. They're making smart decisions. They're making smart plays. You see the teamwork coming out from them, and they're able to kind of break away, break focus, split it up a little bit, and then regroup as it's needed. And that's brought them some success so far for this match, as they're sitting on quite a bit of kills for themselves, but still with 9 teams alive, they got to hold on a little bit longer for us to get into those placement points and, continue keeping the pressure from all these teams down in the bowl. Now Comet's up to just 2.
Oh.
Yaxley, last one still up as Vegas Falls gets flushed out there from the Zenith boys, as Kickstart and Poonage laying into them, but Yaxley getting a trade. He's going to find Poonage down, takes him down, but Shimboy getting him very low. The next peak comes at a cost, and he falls here, as Tickleton's also going to steal a kill out of this. But that said, only one team still left in the city. It is Zenith, and they're coming out badly damaged. Yeah,
Zenith, I would be surprised. Wait a second, actually. This fight between Oath and Soniqs could somewhat buy Zenith some time. We'll have to see, but at the same time, I really do love how Oath has noticed that there are still potentially members in this compound from Duel, and they are hard-pressed to make sure that they cripple that team.
If Oath could really take out these 2 members of Duel in front of him, which is Wooly and Pentalol, that will give them the ability to challenge the rest of Duel for that position. Soniqs already trying to wrap in, rotate to the southern part of the circles. You've got 2 squads that need to work their way in, and you can see the fighting coming out now from Oath, as the smoke wall is out. ARs are out as well, and they're trying to do what they can to stay up and alive. But meanwhile, it's actually going to be a bit of a trade there.
It's a mess.
Soniqs getting all of Zenith, but they're going to lose 1 to Oath here, as Shrimzy bleeding out. Looks like the res might be coming out from M1me. The smoke is out, and Tickleton trying to hold a little defensive position, giving him some time. You can see more shots and damage out from Oath, but the circle, this is a rough one for Oath.
Oh! Volley exploded in his hand, or as it left. That was crazy.
I think it was a nade. I think the nade hit his molly, and unfortunately falling back onto Tickleton. He's going to be able to survive that, but that's actually going to break his focus away and allow Veritas to rotate back in around this, as M1me was trying to get a little bit of help onto Shrimzy here. So 2 players still up here for Soniqs. And Veritas is going to pull back once again from this. I mean, we look at how many teams are trying to play for dominance in the South. In fact, I think that this push coming in from Veritas is huge for Oath to try to find their way into the zone.
Yeah, and Oath, with only 2 kills, don't be mistaken, they have put an insane amount of damage onto the field. They haven't really been able to finish a lot of those kills, but Oath has been on the South just farming damage, farming knocks, and they've really been hurting a lot of these teams. Soniqs obviously among one of those teams. 6 kills on Soniqs, 2 left, Tickleton and M1me, and they're starting to get pinched now.
Starting to get pinched, like you said, but they're still finding some knocks here. So they're going to get E-treats down, but it's stolen by ATC, and Tickleton trying to do something about...
Nice.
Oh, Keenan there, and he is going to get that knock. We can see the kill feed is absolutely lighting up right now. All the teams to the south in conjunction fighting one another. M1me spots out one more for Veritas. They're going to be flushed, and now the time is out. M1me actually will be able to get this res off on Tickleton, but he's got to act quickly. As we can see right now, using a chance to heal while the blue zone is closing in. Meanwhile, Duel finished what was left of Oath. So they will fall, unfortunately. But like you said, they did so much work this match.
They did. And Duel, you know, even though they did win that fight with Oath, they did come out with only half their members. So well done to them on taking out Oath. But, you know, it's possible they may have been able to do that earlier without as many casualties as we see. Either way, they still have a little bit of room to work with here on the circle, but they have to watch that east wrap because obviously One Eye Open is very much waiting for that.
One Eye Open has done work up onto the north right now, sitting on 5 kills, still 4 up, and they've got a lot of great place to play from. It's a little bit downhill, but they've got a lot of good movement on the map.
Soniqs has 8 kills, so they actually dealt with Veritas as well as dealing with a little bit of the residuals on the rest of the teams on the west, and they're still up as a duo with 8 kills. That's ridiculous. Soniqs is ridiculous right now.
We've talked about teams that when they're up at a fraction, you know, not a full squad, who is scary and who's deadly, and Soniqs have kind of been one of those on the list. Tickleton and M1me being 2 big fraggers for that team. Definitely not 2 members of Soniqs that you want to have up with the top 4, as we see now the top of the screen, ATC with 1 alive, One Eye Open with a full 4 stack, Duel and Soniqs with 2 apiece. So as One Eye Open move to regain control, we see Delta sitting there up in the center trying to get as close to the high ground as possible and get as much information onto Soniqs. The Raps coming back in. M1me, Tickleton, I think, sensing this just a bit, preparing for the fight, but you've got Norcus caught in between.
Yeah, Norcus, I don't really think anyone knows if Norcus is there. I'm sure maybe M1me, never mind. Delta proved me wrong immediately. Thank you for that. So Norcus will go down, and that's actually good for Soniqs. They can potentially wrap a little more towards the west, or at least around that rock if they want to try to get a play going on that position where Norcus is, because they don't have to worry about a solo there potentially snaking out one of the members.
You know, that dip right in front of us is the final stopping point of the blue zone, phase 9. The very center of this is where all teams need to move right now, still sitting on the edge. But One Eye Open, a lot of potential for control if they can kind of keep that high ground that both Winlow and Manhardy are playing from. We can see the exchange of damage coming out from Soniqs, but M1me's going to get a few more shots into Manhardy as he tries to pull back into cover for his squad mates. Meanwhile, Patron and Delta have to worry about the members of Duel, Wooly and Cherry, trying to push into the zone, and we see Tickleton going to spot them out. So we've kind of got a little bit of a 3-way action going on here. Wooly actually getting the knock and flush onto Delta. That could be huge for Duel. If they can take care of Patron, we'll have a ridge line to play from, keeping them protected, but Tickleton's going to break away from M1me and focus on all the fight going on to the east.
I love this play, this beautiful split coming out from Soniqs. They realize at this point it's probably best to get as much coverage on the map as possible with only 2 members. That flash is going to be huge.
M1me almost survives that down with 9 HP, but as he turns away, is going to get spotted out as meanwhile, Duel clearing themselves out. Tickleton is going to really...
He actually...
11 kills for Sonic.
He has better cover right now on the center. Yeah, his cover is not great, but the fact... Oh! Tig! Winnable. This is
absolutely insane. Beautiful headshot coming in for Tickleton as he evens the odds now. Winlow taking some free fire shots. Look at this angle he's got here.
You can't!
Thanks. Tickleton does it. 13 kills. Absolutely insane display from Soniqs in the final match tonight.
Wow. Tig. I'm going to be honest. And this is not a knock on Tig at all, but he had really no business winning that, especially when One Eye Open had 4 up. M1me obviously did a good amount of damage before he went down. Man, that is crazy. Woo! What a last game. What a last game.
I feel you here. My heart is absolutely happy because that was just a wild display at the end, and we saw Tickleton rotate to the east, take on the fight to Duel. And at the end, one eye open, 1-2 knock onto both players, turning the odds back in their favor. Double-digit kills